Welcome to part two of our two-part conversation with Christian and Chrissy from 2L Barrington. If you missed the first episode, you can go ahead and watch it. We're going to do a little bit of a recap and then keep the conversation going. First thing is done is better than
Perfect.
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 So just do it. The second thing is pick a platform, and you don't have to be everywhere, just be in one place where you feel most comfortable. Okay, we've done that. Now, what kind of content do I post? We
So
touched a bit about stories, but give
Mhm.
me give our esthetician that's out there that's just like she sits in front of her screen to post and goes completely blank.
This is where I would say pillars come in, right? Just getting
absolutely.
organized. Yeah, I mean, Christian knows I am such a list girl. I love a good outline before any meeting or any agenda or anything like that. Just like map it out. Just like I love to journal. I love to type things out. Do I want to show a product on this day? Do I want to show a client on this day? Do I want to show my face on this day, right? And just kind of make it a schedule. There's also schedulers online and within Instagram where you can just like preload your content, right? Like where you don't even have to think about it. But I always start there and just make sure that you organize your ideas in a way that makes sense when it comes out, right? Because you do want a cadence that makes sense. Because, like Christian is saying, from me as a consumer standpoint, I do want to look at something cohesive. And I do want to make sure that the message is clear. Are you an esthetician or are you selling me something or are you just an influencer? You know what I mean? Like, what does your bio say? Like, all these things contribute a lot, right, Christian?
100%. To Kristen's point, pillars and organization of your thoughts, maybe create a loose outline that's going to help you kind of get
Yeah,
out that jitter, that anxiety that you might have when you are getting ready to record. Also, scheduling a designated content day for you to record on just that day of the month or that day of the week, however frequently you find suitable for your needs. But
right.
organization is major because the through line in your content is going to be you, right? And the cohesion is going to come when you organize your ideas into categories, which are the pillars we're referring
Mm,
to, right?
right.
So n- start off with three things that you feel comfortable with. So three things you're passionate about. Is it your coffee? Is it your morning coffee? For me, it's coffee, fashion. I'm a very eccentric dresser. And let's pick something that's not necessarily skin, but I have very polarizing views and opinions of certain popular subject matter, right? So now myself, Christian, the esthetician, yes, I have a primarily skincare business, but things that are easy for me to talk about are my morning coffee, what I'm wearing, and a controversial view of something, right? That I notice either online or a pop culture moment. So I'm going to now record having this coffee today. I'm going to review the coffee, or I learned this about the beans. I learned this about the roasting process, whatever. Talk about that and then just be like, okay, now I'm ready to work on skin today. This is what I have on the lineup. Or, let people see what you want them to. Then I would take pictures of your outfit or talk about a brand you really like or a fashion show you saw that you love, review it, make it easy, something that's so easy for you to talk
Hmm.
about that's personal to you. And then the third is like, oh my gosh, I can't stand seeing young children in public vaping, and I'm in my 30s. So young children to me are like, mid 20s and younger. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, I saw the most beautiful girl the other day at the grocery store and I was going to compliment her. But the moment she walked out, I saw her take the fattest rip of a vape pen and it just totally turned me off. And I just think it's like an epidemic right now. And why isn't anybody talking about this? And why are we allowing adult
Mhm.
pacifiers everywhere? Like, have some respect for yourself, right? This is how I sincerely feel. Do you see how easy it was for me to talk about that?
Sometimes I
Yeah.
feel that Christian is just making personal attacks in our friend group sometimes, I think, honestly, with his polarizing view.
Being polarizing is not for everyone, but what I hear you say is talk about the things that are of interest to
To
you,
you, yeah.
that come easily to you versus
Yes,
trying to be this idea of what an esthetician should be
right.
or how I should be as a professional. Is that right?
Absolutely. And the other part
Absolutely.
is, I want you guys all to remember don't compare yourself to other estheticians, and maybe like put on some blinders. There's nothing wrong with following other estheticians and getting ideas from them, but I might even suggest muting their stories and muting their posts unless they really inspire you. But you can always go to their account specifically for inspiration. But I suggest muting them because you guys, who you follow and who you talk to is who ends up finding your content. Another esthetician is most likely not going to be booking with you or buying product from you. You want to find the customers, okay? And then, so don't compare yourself to what other estheticians are doing, because then that's going to throw you off. And then you're going to have this expectation of yourself like, oh, I need to be like so and
Mm.
so. And it's like,
It adds to
no,
the
babe,
anxiety. Yeah.
yeah, you need to be like
Mm.
yourself and do what feels easy to you and speak authentically and true to you.
That's such great advice. I like that. Because they are following all the other beauty pros. It
Yeah.
does make perfect sense and simplify it, right? Yes, you have a few that you really, I guess, gravitate to because they're doing a good job. If they're gravitating, you're gravitating to them, right? But learn what that is. Why are you
Yes.
gravitating to their account? How do you
Exactly.
translate that into your own account? And I think that's the part where we sometimes miss. I know being a solo entrepreneur is not easy. Most are in this industry, you know, families trying to have the flexibility of the lifestyle, if you wish, and gets overwhelming because of all the different hats we're wearing. And I completely understand that. But organization, you've said it, you have to be organized. You have to have a calendar and just follow the calendar.
Mhm.
You know, I've talked about this many times. Like when I had my spa, I was like all the hats and I put my kids in my agenda so that I would remember because I wouldn't remember. It's like,
That's
oh my
another
God, I
thing.
got to
Use
go
the
pick up my
kids.
kids.
Yeah. Hmm. Yes.
Anyways, but yeah, it's organization, I think, is a really big key. You can't just wake up and, think it's all going to happen.
Exactly. And
It's not
over,
going to happen
yeah,
like
and
that.
that was such a good tip, Kristen, because that's a lot of the feelings of anxiety and overwhelmingness will like dissipate. It'll help dissipate when you get it all out. Use the notes app on your phone. I take so many notes
Yeah.
on my notes app. Use outlines, make it easy. Do what feels right to you. I have the notes app. I have a huge day planner. I have my digital calendar because, I have ADHD. I have to write things three times, three different ways for it to register and for me to remember.
Mhm.
So, and the anxiety comes very easy to me. It's more natural than, staying organized and calm. But when you get all your ideas out and you organize your categories and you start small and you remember done is better than perfect and you keep your eye on the prize, you're not looking at everybody else and comparing yourself, and you remember like this is for my children, this is for me, this is for my family. I'm proving this to myself. I want to be a successful business owner for XYZ. Stay locked in, stay focused. You know what I mean? And don't be afraid to ask for help either.
I
Don't be
was
afraid
also
to
going to say,
outsource.
Christian, yeah, because you said something, Suzanne. Don't be afraid to use the young people in your life too. You know, if you have kids or just someone who's tech savvy, like, don't be afraid to get help. I always think that people just tend to forget when you are wearing those hats in your business. Like, you can reach for outsourced help or you can trade services for some things too. You don't have to pay someone. Not everyone can pay an intern or a social media manager. So just think about the people in your life that can help you also and think, okay, I can, give them some product or give them these treatments and stuff. I see it all the time. And it's such it's a symbiotic relationship there, and you end up getting your things done. So I think that's, yeah, a great, great point.
Kristen just touched on something so important. Let's get into some technical things now, right? Because it's social media. It's a technical thing. So, trade, you guys, take advantage. People would love product, love facials, love services. If you're not booked, your ass needs to be in your chair in your treatment room, not at home, not at the coffee shop. You need to be in
In
the
your
chair
business,
during your
yeah.
business hours, and you need to be texting friends, family. You need to be posting online, looking for a facial model. And then guess what? You need to tell them, you need to tag me, you need to post, you need to do this thing. Guess what? Do it for free, get them addicted to the results, right? That's how I got a lot of my clients starting off.
Mm,
And then when you start, like, then they start posting, right? And then their friends start booking. So then, one, keep yourself booked, keep yourself busy, and show that online. People have to remember what you do. They see so much online. You have, less than a second to make an impression. The more that they see your little circle popping up with the ring around it, right? Also, there's been a lot of updates to algorithms, especially on Instagram. So it's a lot easier now, right, for people to engage and see your content. Your views are not going to be like low anymore. Shadow banning isn't really a thing on there and either, for the most part, especially for small businesses. I would suggest using a professional account, switching over from a personal account to a pro account. You could do this on your personal Instagram account, but change the setting to a business account, okay? Because that'll give you more valuable insights. That's another technical thing. And another takeaway, you guys, if you just take a few minutes to wipe your lenses, to play with your phone and check out the lighting from all the different angles to see where you feel the most comfortable, where you like the way you look the most, okay? You buy a little magnet mount or a little whatever it is, and you just finesse the lighting a little bit. It does not require fancy equipment. You can do everything with what you have. You can create light with whatever lighting fixtures you have around the house or in your room. Natural light in front of a window is always great, in front of you or in your car, whatever works, right? But if you just take a few minutes to just get those details down, and then in post production, after you've filmed your video, let's say you're doing something where you're talking to camera, take the time to edit all of the awkward pauses. Anytime you're not speaking, anytime there's dead space, you're losing engagement. You're losing someone's interest. I feel like you're wasting my time because I had to take 2 seconds of my life watching you breathe. Not in a funny way, not in an entertaining way. You're not saying anything. It's you troubleshooting, trying to get comfortable in front of the camera. It's like, cut that shit out and just leave the stuff that matters.
You're too funny. You just
Well, we
can do
did
it.
say
I
it
love
was
it.
going to be the truth behind it all. So this
I'm
is what we were after.
Listen, girl, I'm a Scorpio rising. I'm a Libra. I'm a Capricorn moon. I am the sign of truth and justice, boo. And being a Scorpio rising, it's all about revealing the dark hidden truths and surfacing it. You know what I mean? So, and it's just what it is. And I'm not emotional about it. That's where the Capricorn moon comes in. You got to be practical. That's the thing, you guys. Like, and the thing is, we are in a predominantly female industry, right? And so it's
Mhm.
like you got to take the personal and the feelings out of it, right? There's no room for emotions in business. This is about business. You can't be worried about being offended, feeling offended, offending others, taking things personally. This is about your business, okay? Be efficient.
I would also say that kind of just helps with just the ease in posting in general. If you just kind of take yourself out of it and you just remember that this is for your business too, while we want to make it like
Mhm.
easy, fun, however, and also with everything that Christian said with the technical aspects of it, we definitely want to just yeah, we want to make sure that yeah, we're just keeping it light.
I agree 100% on all of those
Mhm.
points. And one thing you said earlier was about like remembering why you're doing this. And I had seen that in a video once, but it was like about starting a YouTube channel and how terrible it would be, but put your why up. But I think that's for everything that you do in your business. Some days are going to be really hard. Just remembering why you are doing this will always help you get through that hard stuff, including showing up on social media, which is more challenging for some than it is for others.
And like I said, even though you see me
Yeah.
here, like very confident, people associate me with confidence, people associate me with being outspoken and not having issues expressing myself. But I actually do. I actually don't feel comfortable. I actually don't like it. I don't like social media. Personally, I think I'm an old soul and I'm an in-person energy kind of person, right?
Mhm.
But guess what? This is the world we're living in, and
Yeah.
social clout does translate to real life clout, which is crazy to me. The way you show up online, people start associating you that way in like person, and then they start respecting you that way or not respecting you that way, right? And I know that that adds to the pressure, but I say this because again, it all goes back to your mindset. And some days we're going to have easy days, like you're saying. Some days we're going to have harder days. But that's why you just got to make it easy for yourself and put your blinders
Yeah.
on and don't get in your head. Don't get in your own way of your success.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I feel like in my position, and
Love that.
that's where I try to be the little cushion to Christian's pins for our estheticians, right? Like, I just try to say, just remember you're doing great, sweetie. You're doing amazing, you know. And yeah, like again, just
I love that.
to remind, like like we're all trying to do the same thing, and and also just like reaching out to other estheticians, getting help and asking what they're doing too, just like also really helps. So I would also just recommend that too, just on top of everything.
I also would love to remind people that follower count doesn't matter. The count of, it can feel very discouraging, right? Oh, I only got 2 likes on this post, or, I only got a handful of comments and they weren't very personal. That you have to remember your account is an extension of your portfolio. It is your digital portfolio. It is an extension of your business. It is your business card. It is now your social media handles are replacing your website. Instead of having a landing page and a website, now this isn't to say it's a replacement. Your website is very important because social media can go away tomorrow. A platform can go obsolete tomorrow, and you need to own your emails. Right? You need to have a data list and a database that you own. So make sure you have your website, but your social media account has now replaced the landing page that people would normally go to for your website, right? And have a very clear point of
Mm.
view. When we were talking about having those content pillars and that list of organization, those content pillars are going to allow you to have a cohesive and consistent through line of your point of view. And it's going to show that you have a strong point of view. That strong point of view is going to
That
attract the right
organization.
customers to you.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
usually always tell people that if you meet somebody in person and you tell them what you do, they are going to go and find you online and look you up. So whenever you're creating content, what do you want people to know or see about you as an esthetician, as your business? And sometimes that at
Mhm.
the beginning is the way you get clients from first meeting them in person, having them see your online profile and make sure that you're the one for them, and then it grows from there because
Mhm.
it's not always going to just take off and you're just going to start getting clients all of a sudden. You really have to kind of build it up and work at it. But
Just
yeah,
to
Totally.
just to add
keeping that
quickly,
perspective.
really quick, just to add, I always liken it to working out your body. You're not going to see instant results, but the
Yeah.
more consistent you get, you're going to see that, and you're going to see the engagement that you want to see. Like Christian said, you don't have to have thousands of followers, but when you
Mhm.
have your core group of people who are constantly engaging with you, that's when you found your audience, right? And you want to keep building that. So I always just say
Mhm.
slow and steady wins the race, right? Like just always remember that in the process.
Yeah, I have way less than 10,000 followers, but I've gotten more than millions of views on several posts, and I was never worried about virality. I've never worried about being viral. Anytime that you get more views and more reach than you have followers, that's successful. So if you only have like 82 followers or a few hundred followers and you got 1,000 views, that was a very successful post.
Right.
If we get any listener questions, we'd love to answer them. And I can
Mhm.
totally go on and get more technical about like, now let's really talk about, other aspects when it comes to editing, scheduling, tools, etc. But it
Mhm.
really starts with mindset. That's what I just want to remind people. You are the only obstacle in your way of success. It's not other people, it's not competition. Yes, we can blame things on society, the economy, etc. But there's so many people that come out on top because they don't let those things weigh them down and hold them back because they're aware that, um, for example, I listened to this actress a long time ago say something like, when I used to audition and I would never get parts and I would feel discouraged because, I would walk in the room and there's like 50 girls that look just like me reading for the same part. I would never book anything. But when I shifted my mindset into thinking it's just between me and the person who gets it, I have a 50-50 chance. It's between myself and the person who books it. That's it. You don't got to worry about anything else. So again, it's your mindset. You can't let the state of the world and the economy and what other people are doing hold you back from your personal success. And you get to define what that looks like.
Absolutely.
So you're in control at the end of the day, is what I'm trying to say. Take accountability for your control and your actions and your outcomes.
That's an amazing message. And I think we have given our listeners and viewers lots and lots of information. But if they take one thing away, it's just get out there and do it. And then come back and listen again and get some more tips.
Yes.
Yeah,
It was a
Right.
wealth of information.
there's lots of information here today.
I'm going to put your information in the description. So if anyone has questions, they can either leave a comment for us or reach out to you directly and ask all the questions. And we are going to have you back again because I could talk to you both for hours.
Yes.
Yeah,
Same, obviously, we can chat, right?
yeah.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much.